Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's Training Tuesday. This is Heidi here with Dayton Superior. We are so glad to be back at it and happy that you've decided to come and take a listen. Like usual, everyone that calls in has been muted so that the webinar can be free of other disruptions on the line, but please feel free to provide any questions you may have throughout the presentation through the chat functionality in Zoom. And then at the end of the presentation, there will be a many question and answer session, and I will ask those questions on your behalf. Each of our webinars are recorded and placed on our Dayton Superior YouTube channel, as well as our Dayton Superior website. You just have to search for product videos. So just to let you know that this one is being recorded today. Today we will be talking with the Precast group to learn about precast chemical solutions, such as the overall precast solutions that are offered, what we have at Dayton Superior that's available to solve your concerns or issues on the job site, how to prepare, repair, and protect your precast elements, precast chemical types and features for you to take advantage of. So our presenter today is one of our fine precast technical sales representatives for Dayton Superior. And we also have on the line Matthew Carter, the technical sales manager for chemicals. He's sitting in to answer any really difficult chemical questions or issues that you may have. So start typing those into the chat room and we'll challenge him. But back to our presenter, he is Taylor Blankenship. And he's been with Dayton Superior for over 9 years, beginning as an area sales representative, then moving to the dealer sales manager. And then, as I mentioned, he is in the technical sales role for the precast market. He has a degree from the Ohio State University, where he belonged to the professional business fraternity. And he is also part of the Precast Pre-Stressed Concrete Institute and plays roles in or follows the Minnesota chapter of International Concrete Repair, the American Concrete Institute, the National Concrete Association and Concrete Reinforcing Steel, or better known as CRSI. And he works with our customers to help solve their precasting technical needs and can't wait to tell you more about these chemical solutions. So, Taylor, if you go ahead and select the next slide for me, I'll just let everyone know that this is for training purposes only. So just so you know, anything that we talk about are the products. We have DaytonSuperior.com that has the technical data sheets as well as the safety data sheets for you. So the rest of it is for training. So go ahead, Taylor, teach us more.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. I am Taylor Blankenship, the TSR for Precast in the East. I'm happy to be here today to talk about precast construction chemicals. And again, thank you, Matthew, for being here as well for any tough questions that maybe I can't tackle. So thank you much. For those of you that aren't familiar with Dayton Superior, we are an industry leader when it comes to supporting precasters. We're a single source provider for accessories and chemicals. We offer a full line, everything from bar supports, forming, splicing, and lifting systems, to a full line of chemicals, including releases, patches, surface treatments, and epoxies that we'll touch on today. In addition to just the products we sell, we also partner with our precast producers to offer engineering solutions, everything from a simple brace or insert location, all the way up to a full package with site drawings and panel details. We also have quite a great footprint in terms of sales reps throughout the country, TSRs like myself, as well as local reps that are always happy to help you with demonstrations, trainings, product demos. And we are also working to provide trainings like today's that are going to be available on YouTube as a resource for the future. So I'm very happy to be a part of that. Would love to get started here. For today, we are touching on precast chemicals. I'm sure many of you that know chemicals would know that you could spend a day on one chemical. So what we're doing here today is just a broad overview of quite a few chemicals that play a role in our precast offering. That would be of benefit to our precast producer partners. We'll touch a little bit on form releases, cures, repair products, grouts, as well as waterproofing and repellents. And since we have a limited time, it will be that broad overview. Hopefully it piques your curiosity on a product you might not have heard of before, or perhaps teach you something that maybe you didn't know about a product you've used in the past. So we'll start here with form releases. and basically just try to answer the question, what is a form release? They're water-based or high-quality oil-based products that allow for easy removal of formwork from freshly placed concrete. Here at Dayton, we offer 3 different types of form release. We have reactive releases, neutral or buffered releases, and barrier releases. The form releases we offer are specifically designed to perform in a very controlled and reliable way. So when you see things like the cheaper alternatives of transformer motor oils or diesel fuels, these are not equals to those products. They may work in a sense. However, our form releases are an engineered product that's going to give you a great result. Properly applied, a form release is going to prevent any bonding of concrete to your formwork. It's going to maintain a clean and non-stained finish on the concrete and leaves the final product free of any residue. In addition to some of the benefits below, like VOC regulations being met, reducing some of your formwork maintenance, the main point of a good form release that's properly selected and properly applied is it's going to lead to more consistent processes in precast facilities, and it's going to leave you with more consistent final product, leading to higher efficiencies and higher product quality. As I mentioned, we do have 3 different types of form releases. Our reactive releases have fatty acids that react with cement in the concrete mix. This is called a saponification reaction, and it creates a soapy layer between the poured concrete and your formwork, providing a positive release at the end of the process. Our popular reactive releases are J2, J1A, and J3. Our neutral, or I normally call them buffered reactive form releases here, also produce the same reaction. However, we've added buffering agents to them that makes them a little bit more forgiving if over applied. A popular buffered form release that you may know is our Magic Coat. And finally, we have our barrier releases. These are more of a hydrophobic physical barrier between your formwork and the concrete mix, rather than a chemical reaction. Waxes, oils, and resins are common materials, carrier materials that are going to create this barrier. A popular barrier releases are J1EF. So for form releases, we talk about formwork a lot. In precast, we see quite a bit of steel or maybe job-built plywood. There's also form liners that add considerations. So basically, when using a form liner, what we're really looking to do is to use the right release for the job. A elastomeric, the thick rubber form liners, will sometimes swell over time with use of a high solvent based form release. And also thinner form releases may not cling to the form liner as well as they would. So we recommend something that's a little thicker. For ABS and SPS plastics, which Dayton Superior does offer, we do recommend using something with a heavier body, but maybe going over in lighter coats. As you can see in the picture here, some fine details are going to benefit from getting a more even coverage rather than letting those pool. Some of our form releases here are laid out. It's just kind of a comparison between them. As I mentioned before, our J1EF is our more popular barrier release. It has 0 VOCs, so it meets many of the more restrictive specifications on projects that deal with potable water, or I guess anything that has some of those very stringent specs for, human consumption, storage, things along those lines. It's driven by specifications with green and lead. Magic Coat is a popular buffered release that we recommend for a lot of our form liners and modular forming products. It works great in a precast environment as well. Has decades of successful use with our Simons division, who does modular forming. And finally here, our J100 is a low VOC reactive release, and it is compliant with a lot of the VOC regulations, well, all VOC regulations across the US. It was developed as an oil-based option for very restrictive markets like California, for instance. Here we have our most popular reactive releases. Our J1, or we'll start with J3 here at the top. Our J3 is a premium release that uses very high quality oil as a base, and as a result, it has excellent coverage and gives you a great finish on the final product. It's great for architectural precast elements, and one that I would recommend for very highly detailed where coverage is an issue, architectural precast. Our J1A is similarly kind of the mid-level VOC count like our J3. It does use some recycled oil, so it's not quite as premium, but still a great product and is able to meet most VOC restrictions across the country. Our J2 is our workhorse. It's the most economical. It does have a higher VOC count than our J3 or J1A, but is still a great option where project specifications aren't quite as restrictive. So these are probably the three that I see the most out in the field, and I could recommend any one of these for a precaster based on their application. So we'll touch briefly here on cures as well. It's important to note that curing is both an action and a process. So we'll first address kind of the action of curing, which is using one of our cures, a chemical curing agent. These cures are products that create a surface membrane in order to maintain moisture and temperature within fresh concrete. This allows the hydration process to occur. There's multiple benefits in using a cure. A cure will allow the concrete to reach its design strength, which is very important, so that the final product will perform as designed. It'll also help mitigate a lot of the surface imperfections that you see. We've got some pictures down in the bottom right here of crazing, cracking, and dusting, which can all be symptoms of excessive water loss due to poor curing or lack of curing at all. These imperfections aren't only aesthetic, but they can lead to some issues in performance and increased maintenance moving forward. When properly cured, the final product will not only most likely avoid these issues, but will have increased durability, as well as some abrasion resistance and increased performance. So before I get into our products in particular, we can talk about the process of curing concrete. Basically, the process is facilitating the hydration reaction between cement particles and water in the concrete mix. In the presence of water, these concrete particles, shown here, they create a matrix, which is basically a hardened network binding the aggregates together. And once this is completed, you have the hardened final product that we all know. The majority of this reaction takes place very early, within the first 7 days for most mix designs. So that makes the very first few days vital in achieving, your design strength and also getting the aesthetics you want out of your product. For this reason, ACI notes that curing should begin immediately after the surface water has disappeared after final finishing. This can be done in quite a few ways. They can apply a plastic membrane. You can use a wet burlap system or one of our chemical curing products. Also recently, in recent years, accelerated curing is a lot more common with precast in particular. Precasters today often use a steam and burlap setup or a dedicated curing room, which maintains both high moisture and high heat, which accelerates this process in a controlled way. If you're curing outside of a facility or a facility that isn't set up for accelerated curing like that, Dayton Superior's membrane forming curing products are great options. The reasons for that is a chemical can be applied and left, while plastic or wet burlap is both more labor intensive to apply at first and also requires attention throughout the process of the cure. So with that in mind, we can kind of touch base on some of our curing products here. J11W is a water-based clear resin cure that begins to dissipate after 30 to 60 days when it's exposed to traffic, sunlight, or weather. It's green certified, and it's a really good option in cooler regions or if the concrete product is being cured under a roof. Our J10W is very similar. It's a resin-based cure, but it has the addition of a reflective white pigment that's going to help maintain lower concrete temperatures and direct sunlight. That white pigment will help to reflect it, thus controlling the temperature within your concrete product much better. This is a great option for curing in warmer regions and when the curing process isn't under roof. Our J9A, finally, is a water-based white pigmented wax cure. This is a little more economical than the other two, but unlike the resin cures above, it's not going to dissipate on its own and remains on your product until traffic or mechanical removal is done. Your specific application, and for precasters here, most of these curing specs will be dictated by DOT or project specifications, as well as your application. So There's quite a few factors that will determine what is right for you. Next group of materials I'd like to cover is our repair mortars. So what is a repair mortar? What does it do? It's a product that's designed to repair damage and imperfections in precast. This includes some of the expected damages that would occur over the natural life of a product, like delamination, scaling, or spalling. This could be impact damages for highway and roadway, or just simply surface imperfections that may be found after the finishing process in your precast plant, similar to like a bug hole down there in the bottom right. Repair mortars, they're an economical way to address the upkeep of precast elements where the costly alternative is replacing the piece. They can restore structural integrity and repair damage. Here we have an instance in the top right where some of your reinforcing steel is exposed. Rather than replace, it's much easier to repair and regain that structural integrity. And also, after the natural weathering of precast over time, some of our aesthetic repairs can be just part of a standard maintenance protocol. Since each application and each repair mortar is specifically designed to address a different application, many can be used for the same application. It's important to kind of understand how to go through the process to select and apply the correct repair mortar. Here we have just a high level running of events, a progression here, which for the sake of time, I won't get into too much, but I will point out that we do have a really good training, concrete prep, repair, and restoration available on YouTube. So if you'd like to learn more about that process, please check it out. So we'll touch here on just a key group of some of our repair mortars that are very popular in precast. We do designate our repair mortars for horizontal, vertical, or overhead repairs. We'll start here with a couple of our more popular horizontal repair mortars. HD50 and DOT Rapid Repair are both great heavy-duty horizontal repair mortars. They're perfect for quick turnarounds on precast roadway, be that decking or a precast slab. They've got very rapid strength gain and also high final strengths, which makes them great for concrete repairs in an area with very heavy traffic. Our HD50 is widely approved for DOT. While our DOT Rapid Repair is a newer product, it's currently going through a net PEP evaluation. And after that process is completed, it should be on par and be a very economical option. Here at the bottom, we have our Recrete 20, which, like the others, can handle horizontal repairs, but can also be used both vertically and overhead. It has great workability, and it really excels in patching lifting hardware for precast panels. It can address spalling or pop-outs, and it can also be used in horizontal repairs in areas with lighter traffic. We offer a 5-minute version. If you're in cold weather, a faster setup may be something that is a concern, so that can be a great option. And if matching lighter concrete, we also offer a light version. Some of our key vertical and overhead repair mortars for precast would be our Architectural Finish and HD25VO. Architectural Finish is great for repairing small concrete blemishes. If you have a rough area, bug holes, or form marks after the precasting process, it's great for addressing those. It's great for architectural precast elements. It's quite economical and it's very easy to apply. You can just scrub or trowel on, and the results are great visually. The HD25VO, on the other hand, is more for structural repairs for vertical and overhead. You'll see this used a lot in bridges, parking ramps, walls, columns, pipes, beams, you name it. It has a very fast strength gain and high final strength. It's polymer modified and fiber reinforced, so it handles great in those vertical overhead applications. Now, while not repair mortars, epoxies can also be used quite a bit in terms of repairing precast products. Our ProEpoxy 300 Fast here is a high viscosity epoxy gel adhesive, and it's great for anchoring bolts, dowels, and reinforcing steel. It can also be used to seal cracks and set injection ports in precast. Our J58 is kind of a medium viscosity epoxy adhesive. Where the ProEpoxy 300 Fast may be peanut butter, the J58 is more of a honey consistency. This can be great for anchoring as well. However, we do see it used a lot as a bonding agent between two precast elements that may be hardened, as well as connecting freshly poured concrete to hardened concrete. Our Propoxy 100 is a low viscosity epoxy, and this is great for pressure injection. This will repair cracks in your precast beams or columns, and is often used in conjunction with a Propoxy 300 Fast, for instance, to close off that surface, and then allow the Propoxy 100 to be injected to chase that crack and repair the damage. Next, we can touch on a couple of our grout products. Grouts are very important for precast chemicals. Our standard 1107 is a big mover with a lot of our precaster partners. It is a non-shrink, non-metallic grout that provides a positive expansion, which leads to it having an excellent bearing area. You're going to see this used a lot on structural columns, bearing pads, and setting of panels out in the field. Our Suregrip high performance grout is very similar to the 1107 Advantage. It is the same non-shrink, non-metallic grout that also meets ASTM C 1107, but it does have higher early strength gain and a higher final strength. So where typical applications may be fine with the 1107, if you need a higher strength output, our high performance would be a great option for you. Both of these 1107 and high performance grouts can be mixed in fluid, flowable, and dry pack consistencies, which allow them to adapt easily to job site requirements or particular applications where one may work better than the other. Whereas our final list here, the dry pack precast grout, was specifically designed for I guess column base plates or stacking of panels, basically applications where a stiff or plastic grout's desired. It's more usable in the dry pack form, so if that is the case on a project, this is a great option. Now we can touch base on a couple of these waterproofing and repellents that we have for precast. Well, what do? They basically offer protection from structural damage due to water and salt intrusion into concrete. These products are recommended to prevent premature erosion. They can prevent mold and mildew aesthetically, and they offer an additional line of protection for any low-lying utility and water routing elements. Some of our popular waterproofing and repellents are the J29 family. These are both silane-based products that penetrate concrete. The silane molecule is smaller than the siloxane molecule that you'll see in a lot of typical sealers. It penetrates and bonds within the concrete substrate. So as a result, this will last much longer in terms of protecting that piece than a conventional surface coating might. These products don't discolor concrete and are really good options for architectural and DOT projects. In terms of kind of separating the two, we see a lot of our J29, the 40% silane, used on DOT projects, be that roadway or culverts, whereas the J29A, the 100% silane, is a little more common on infrastructure projects like dikes, dams, or levees. Finally, here we have our water stop. It's a non-corrosive, non-rusting, and extremely fast-setting hydraulic cement. This is used for plugging and stopping active water leaks in concrete. When it's mixed with water, you can form it into a plug and apply to the crack to stop leaks, and it works even underwater. It's ideal for issues that may arise in precast pipes, culverts, manholes, and storm drains. So like I said, it was going to be a very broad overview. So hopefully we touched on a few products and maybe piqued your interest on something else that maybe you haven't used in the past. Here, I want to offer Dayton Superior as a great resource in terms of our website, everything from tech and safety data sheets to selection and application guides, handbooks, brochures, and I'm sure these training videos are available on the website. So please check that out. It's a great resource. I use it myself every day. If there's anything here that you had questions on, and as Heidi mentioned, since this was a broad overview, it's always best to take a look at the tech data sheet for a product that maybe you're looking to use or aren't quite familiar with.
Great, thanks, Taylor.
I'll let you jump back in, Heidi. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thanks for going over the website. It does have a lot of information about the products on there. And as he mentioned, these Training Tuesday videos and any product videos actually are out there. Just search on either going into the training or search on product videos and you'll come to a whole slew of them. But I wanted to mention that many of the products that we went over today are actually on special for August, and that just started yesterday with our Superior deal. So contact your sales representative if you're interested in any of these. They're listed there to the left, and discuss the good discounting that we have available. We also have some Paragon products on sale, special this month, and next Tuesday we will be doing a Training Tuesday on the Paragon product solution line. So go ahead and sign up for that. In just a moment, I'll post the sign up for it. But with that, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to enter them into the chat. Either a super duper hard one for Matthew. Sorry, Matthew. He's so smart. I have to make sure that he gets a good question. Or one for Taylor for the precast overall. And it doesn't have to be about chemicals. We could talk about the other solution lines to the precast. As a reminder, this is being recorded. A little bit later on, it'll be put on our website and through YouTube. And I'll send an email out letting you know that it is available. I do have one question, kind of general overview, and it's actually about driveways and a pockmarked driveway. Are you able to use architectural finish on that to fix a pockmarked driveway?
Hello, this is Matthew. Architectural finish would not be our first recommendation for that product. It's not really built to handle as much abrasion. Dayton Superior does offer a product for horizontal applications called Thin Resurfacer. It is intended to go down at almost the same thickness, very fine reprofiling, resurfacing for driveway sidewalks. So I would recommend going to the website, looking at Thin Resurfacer. The technical data sheet and the properties and overview will be. And if you'd like to, don't hesitate to contact Dayton Superior Technical Services directly if you want to have a deeper conversation.
Oh, yes. Good plug for that. So Matthew Carter and team are very, very good about the technical. And if you have any other specification questions for chemicals, we also have specifications assistance for accessories as well out there. There's on the website, just search for specification or technical help, and you will go to a form that will be directed their way, or give them a call. So any questions? Okay, just remember we have new topics of interest every Tuesday. Like I said, next week will be the Paragon product solution. We will have one of our engineers discussing that, as well as someone from the Lowmont Manufacturing who actually manufactures Paragon. Like I said, I'll send an email when this is all ready, and if there's no other questions, I guess we'll leave it at that. Thank you to the presenter, and for Matthew, Taylor, appreciate you joining, and we will see you next Tuesday. Everyone have a happy Tuesday.
Sure.
Bye.